So the Charter School Growth Fund wants to scale up the best charter schools in the country. So we invest in leaders to grow their schools so they can provide the best outcomes for kids. So my role at the Growth Fund as the Director of Advocacy is to support, we have about 180 organizations within the portfolio, and our job, one of my jobs, is to support the portfolio at getting better and stronger at the advocacy work that they do. And one of the things that I've continually heard from leaders within our portfolio is that they want to get better and do a better job of building parent power. So partnering with Charlene and her new organization was sort of a no-brainer for us, because we know that she does some of the best work in the country. We believe that in order to sustain and grow the charter school sector and to continue providing great educational outcomes for kids, that we need to build a broad base of support for the sector. And we know that parents are the key constituency of that sector, and it's really important that their voices and that their stories and that their power are centered as we do that work. You know, it's no surprise to me that when you bring leaders from the charter school growth portfolio together, incredible things happen, and they are just constantly making connections and learning from each other, and so receptive to learning more. And as I said, my job is to figure out how to best support the portfolio. And I know that this group of leaders really wants to scale up the work that they're doing with parents and really build parent power. So, you know, just seeing those connections that are made throughout the day, it's so motivating. But at the same time, we did that assessment at the end, where are we? Everyone had to do that self-assessment. It's where are we with respect to building parent power within our organizations? And those are really candid conversations that they have to have. And, and I think there was a lot of acknowledgement that we're not where we need to be. And I think it was really helpful for people in the room to see okay, I'm not alone. A lot of us haven't gotten this right, and we want to do better. I've done this enough to know that that building parent power is part of the DNA of a school's organization, is not necessarily the norm. Our schools are focused on providing education, right? That is what they were sort of designed to do. And, I think the organizations that are doing this best, it was part of their DNA from the beginning. But what I love to see is that all of these organizations are taking an honest accounting of what we do well and what we don't do well, and figuring out how to do it better. I think a lot of our organizations, when they are, whether it be in the State House fighting for some kind of policy, or whether it be, trying to get a renewal, they are organizing their families, they're organizing their constituents, and I think it's often they come into contact with decision makers who don't respect what they're doing, who don't know what they're doing, who don't understand what they're doing, and have preconceived notions about what's happening. And so I've heard from many portfolio members that they feel that one of the things that they find challenging sometimes about building parent power is that they're bringing parents into places where the parents have been disrespected. And so they are hesitant sometimes to put parents in those positions where they might feel intimidated and then be disrespected in the process. So no, was I surprised by the role play and the reaction? No. My hope for CSGF's partnership with 2541 is that the 39 leaders who came here today and are here for this training are going to leave with some real concrete steps, how they can go back to their organizations, convince their organizations why this work is so instrumental, and have some real clear next steps on how to get this work started, and then also feel like they can rely on this cohort of people to learn more and keep scaling up their work.